In 3 days of fighting, there were 51,000 casualties.
51,000 men, soldiers, they weren't all men, lost their lives here at the Battle of Gettysburg in 3 short days.
You'll find that there were 51,000 casualties. Biggest battle in U.S. military history. 8,000 to 10,000 of those guys were wiped out just like that, never knowing what hit them. 27,000 went wounded, and all the rest would be what you would call an MIA, a missing in action, unaccounted for. Sadly, and I guarantee you this, where we're walking tonight, this historical land, if this was July 4th, 1863, I'd have you walking over, around, or through numerous dead and dying American soldiers.
Well, we had to pull on something, so we're grabbing at the threads, and now the world's unraveling inside our very heads. Glasses smeared with lipstick, hungry eyes out in the street. Same old bodies moving to the same old beat. I had to draw the line, had to draw the line.
I say to every one of you, if you had been residents that day, and you witnessed everything that I just said to you, would you possibly have been haunted by your experiences? Would this have bothered you for the rest of your life to see your town raped, rampaged by a bunch of barbarians? A lot of your peers come here because they have had an experience. They believe they've had an experience, and they're trying to learn about it. Do I look like I'm haunted? I'm a survivor of 9/11. I was a New York City fire officer on that morning. By the grace of God, I was taken out of Manhattan 2 weeks before. 9/11 was my last tour in Brooklyn. I was going back to Manhattan. I was on the roof of the firehouse when the plane went in, the second plane, to the second building. When it collapsed, it killed 343 of my brothers and about 2,300 of your peers. 4 years ago, on a routine medical exam, they found glass in my lungs. They took my job away from me. They called me unfit for duty. I retired here to Gettysburg. You think I'm haunted? My point being that after this battle, we were damaged goods. I've been coming to Gettysburg since 1972, sometimes as many as 4 to 5 times a year. I so-called return to my roots. We do it from a historical point of view, and as far as I know, we're the only company doing that. So it was a way for me to prevent the Alzheimer's from setting in. And I was exercising my brain, getting out there on the street, educating next generation in not only history, but a little history of the paranormal, and then taking you to spots that you probably wouldn't have known anything about because it's not pointed out in the history book. History book isn't going to give you paranormal, and the paranormal isn't going to give you history. I give you a little of both. If there is a paranormal, it's because of what happens here. I would think that people would come for the purest reason, and that would be the battle.
Out of the 51,000 casualties, 7,000 of the men were killed outright during the battle, and another 4,000 will die from the wounds over the next couple weeks and months as a result of 3 days of fighting. And just to kind of put that in perspective, in 1967, we in the United States lost 11,700 men in Vietnam in 1 year. This is 11,000 men for 3 days. Remember in 5th grade, one of my teachers had us do a book report, and I did it on a battle in the Civil War. I found out that there were battlefield guides, and I thought that that would be a fun job to do. Without a doubt, it's the Battle of Gettysburg itself that draws the people to Gettysburg. The fact that there were 160,000 men fighting, struggling for 3 days, 51,000 casualties. It was a turning point in the Civil War without a doubt. It helped to shape the American history the way we see it today. And without a doubt, most people come to Gettysburg for the history of the battlefield. And we'll go out, we'll do the 2-hour tour of the battlefield covering the 3 days of the battle. People can sign up weeks in advance and request a guide. So when we come in the morning, we know that there's a tour waiting for us and we can go, and our tours last anywhere from basically 2 hours to all day.
Propped up in a field, medically sealed, and scratching at the wind.
Being able to relate the history that happened here at Gettysburg to the visitor, to have a visitor who had a relative that fought here, and be able to actually take them out and show them where their relative actually walked and fought, possibly was wounded or killed, and be able to show their relative's name on that monument. I had a lady one day actually broke down and cried when I showed her relative's name on the monument. There's several areas on the battlefield. Devil's Den, you know, with the big rocks, has a lot of interest. The fighting in there was pretty severe, so people want to go there for that aspect. Little Round Top just across the valley, a gorgeous view you could see for miles and miles from the top of Little Round Top. The wheat field was 26 acres of wheat on July 2nd. The fighting in the wheat field goes on for 3 hours. It changes hands 7 times between the Union and Confederate soldiers. When the fighting's over, there's going to be over 5,000 dead and wounded laying on the ground. And just to try to relive what happened inside that wheat field is one of my favorite spots on the battlefield. Have I ever had any paranormal experiences on the battlefield? I have not. There's a program here at Gettysburg called Park Watch, and I've spent many a night walking this battlefield on my own, and I have never seen or heard anything. I've never had anything that makes me go, I wonder what that is. I have no ideas about whether they want to come and look for ghosts or not. If that's what they want to do, that's fine with me. Unfortunately, that's not why Gettysburg is here. That's not why people spend their lifetime studying the battle, working here at Gettysburg. That's not why the veterans came back and put the monuments up. The monuments are here so you don't forget what they did here at Gettysburg.
My name is Heidi Shaw, and I am the manager of the Jenny Wade House Gift Shop and Museum. Georgia recalled from the morning of her sister's death, the family was here in this room, and Jenny had just finished her morning devotions. She ended her prayer by saying, "If there's anyone in this house to die today, let it be me, for my sister has just given birth to her son." I started here August the 25th, 4 years ago. This is the only picture of Jenny Wade we have. She was 18 in the picture. She died at 20. Favorite part of my job here? I enjoy giving the tours as well as running the gift shop, purchasing the merchandise we sell. They're probably my favorite. This is the original dough tray that Jenny was using that morning. These are the original doors. Jenny was working behind this door, mixing the biscuit dough, when a bullet entered through that door, followed through this door, hitting Jenny in the back, hitting her in the heart, killing her instantly. A lot of them are interested in the battlefield. Some of them are from the north, some of them are from the south. They come here looking for their ancestors, as well as vacation, some education for their children. There's a lot of history buffs as well as reenactors. A lot of the tours are interesting. They come with their own little ideas of the Jenny Wade house. The young girls are very interested in the whole Jenny Wade story. Something draws children, girls 7 through 15 here to the house. They like the story, the love story of the part of the tour. The idea that we have the legend of if a female puts her ring finger through the hole in the inside of the house here in the door, she will get a wedding proposal within a year. Young girls think that's wonderful. there are interesting things that happen all the time. We've all had experiences that work here throughout the years. The Jenny Wade House is considered the 6th most haunted house in the United States according to the Travel Channel and the paranormal investigations they have performed here in the house. Been given the tour in the kitchen. Someone had their arm around me. No one was standing next to me. I've watched the chains here around the bed shake. I don't mean sway, I mean shake as if someone was shaking them. This door has opened and closed during tours. Most everything here in Gettysburg, other than the Jenny Wade House and the Shriver House, are geared to the battle that's soldiers. The Jenny Wade House and the Shriver House both deal with the civilians and civilian life. The smells, the sounds are just phenomenal that none of us can relate to. But I think after they leave here doing the bus tour, going through the museums, talking to the residents, visiting the Jenny Wade House, they go back with a better idea of life in 1863 during the Battle of Gettysburg.
Well, this land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, the Redwood Forest.
Ask the question again.
Okay. Have you ever had any paranormal experiences on the
I'm
mountain?
directing this, you know.
Okay. That's okay.